Hey guys, welcome back. We will continue our agency in a box building the portfolio. But before we build the portfolio and our site, I wanted to just do some deep research. I used Claude itself to do deep research to give me what are the best verticals. Like initially I assumed 8 verticals I just wanted to show, but I thought let's just follow the data. Right? So I told him, right, please get the latest real latest data I can share confidently, right? So using deep research, right? Let's see what it said there. So it ran a deep research, right? And I wanted it to use the deep research to get me concrete data based on which we can make decisions on which industries to target and what products to target. So obviously that was that. And then what I told after it came back with the results, obviously, let me show you what it came back with. It came back with the agency target verticals with some simple scorecard. It gave me this. And it gave me some talking points which I can share with you, right? Then I told him, like, this is great, but can you use Key.ai? I've spoken about Key.ai in multiple videos. You can just watch any of my previous videos and, there is a reference to Key.ai. It's a marketplace where you can get cheaper access to a lot of different models, including Nano Banana, GPT-4o, then VO3, Sora 2 Pro for video or for image generation, or even for songs, and even 11 Labs subscription is like you could use 11 Labs as well, right, from the same subscription. So, and it's a usage-based model, but the tokens are much cheaper than if you were to go directly to any of those models, right? So it generated that, and let me see, it came back with that. It gave me all the results here on it spun a server on localhost and gave me the results. So let's go to that. And actually I opened this. If you see, this is the one, right? I already opened it. So these are the slides it created using Key.ai. It used my credits available there. So it used those. So what is it saying? Which local businesses should you target? So obviously our main lesson is how do you proceed with the verticals, with the portfolios. But I thought it was important to also look into which verticals are truly worth targeting, right? So forget gut feel, pick the verticals where the money math already works. Then sell them the tool that fixes their most expensive leak. We'll cover that. Let's see what it says, right? And then, okay, it says here, just do left or right arrow. So we go right arrow, where the money leaks, click lead customer, right? So this is just explaining what is CPC. CPC is cost per click, right? I think most of us understand that, right? When we show an ad, how much does it cost for somebody to actually click with some interest, right? Then cost per lead is after they click, not everybody submits their information. So cost per lead is actually how many of them actually submit their information, right? So total cost, right? Then customer acquisition cost is, okay, out of those people who submitted the lead, how many actually convert, right? So that's your customer acquisition cost. And then average revenue per customer, is AOCV, right? Like how much do you make average per customer, right? So we'll look into all that, right? So they're talking about one of the good target markets is lawyers, right? Why lawyers pay anything for a lead? So this is just some math. Obviously, this is average, right? So 100 clicks gives you 7.5 leads. So because the industry verified numbers are about $9.87 cost per click, and so total cost per lead is $131. So See, basically, how does the math go, right? It's cost per click is 9.87. So cost for 100 clicks is $9.87, right? And then what is the other number? Cost per lead is 131.63. Cost per lead is $131.63, right? So what does that mean? Out of these 100, out of $987, actual lead cost is this, right? So if one lead costs this much, how many leads will we get out of 987? You just divide that, right? So if you divide 987 divided by 131.63, that is the number of leads you get. So about 7.5, right? That's what it was showing here, 7.5 leads. So this is derived from this math. And then this is an estimate. It tells you this is an estimate. Let's say 15% sign as case, right? So, if you're talking to about 8 leads, we expect at least 1 to convert, right? Which is okay. I mean, because, they showed interest, right? I think that's realistic, even though it's an estimate, right? So one signed case, the customer acquisition cost is about $880. How? Because, the cost per lead is this, total lead cost is this, out of this one signed, so about $880. And then, the actual average order customer value, AOCV, is about 3,000 to 10,000. So it's like there is a lot of margin here for lawyers, right? So let's go further. Now this gives you some scorecard for 8 verticals, right? So personal injury lawyer, it ranks as high because we just studied that use case, right? And since their lead cost is high, they do not want to miss any possible lead, right? Anybody who wants to call them. So if missed calls would cost them, because they've already spent on those leads, they're already running those ads, right? So you can lead with an AI phone agent, right? Which will guarantee no missed calls, right? Same way for roofing, job is 8 to 15K. So, and also the lead cost is very high. So pretty much the same idea here. Lead with an AI phone agent, they cannot afford a missed call. HVAC, even though it is lower, 300 to 12K, because it could be maintenance or it could be a new install, right? But mostly it is emergency based, right? So you could lead with both an AI phone agent and also a very nice converting website, right? Remember, we built a website which with all the signals to convert, right? That we saw that in the last lesson. So plumbing is about 150 to 4K is the average customer, how much an average customer is going to pay you, right? So this one is again, right? You can start with AI phone agent. These plumbing may not even have, much smaller businesses. I don't think they really invest in websites, but I think phone agents would be a good sell for them, right? Med spa is the newer industry. Obviously the customer is paying about $500 per visit, and obviously it's a medical spa, right? So it's everything related with skin care, hair care. So this is all the latest, right? So obviously you can imagine there's a lot of demand for it, right? A lot of interest. But the missed call is not the key here. It's a very nice website, converting website with an AI chatbot which can answer, kind of get the warm and fuzzy to the customer, right? And I'm talking about the customer for the med spa. Why? Because if they have some converting website, or if they have some tools like AI phone agent, AI chatbot, then you are in demand, because that's what the services you're providing. Dental is again 1 to 8K, best conversion, repeat visits. So website plus chatbot may be the best way to enter, and if you're making a pitch, right? Remodeling, house remodeling, and those kind of things are high ticket items. So website, because nobody's going to just, one phone call is not, there's no emergency, there's no urgency here, right? So if you talk about roofing, if it is your roof is leaking, or if plumbing, you have leak in the house, you need somebody right then. So So if you call a plumber, he doesn't pick up, they lose business, right? So you do need immediate response, right? And then real estate, again, neither website nor AI phone agent. I mean, all of those are needed too, right? But when you kind of start with a pitch, what is their biggest pain point? How do you really convert them? Could be through a CRM follow-up, because a real estate requires a lot of ongoing, lead capture and just following up through them, right? Following up with them, right? So I think we covered all these in detail, and that's what could be your 8 verticals, right? We already covered dental and what did we do? HVAC and dental, right? But and this is exactly pretty much the same information. It's just saying lead with the tool that fixes their biggest leak, right? So legal roofing, the phone agent is the big thing. HVAC plumbing, again, is the phone agent. All of them need a website too. Don't get me wrong, right? So you have to, but what do you lead into with, right? Med spa dental is website and chatbot, and real estate is CRM follow-up, right? So that's that, right? And so I will follow up with a lesson on, we'll just continue building these verticals. So we'll start with the personal injury law. So we'll create a website for it. Right now, we will just go through and create website for all of them, right? Then eventually we'll come back and create phone agents and chatbots and the CRM itself, right? Remember, we'll cover all of these. Okay, great. Thank you.